Welcome back, friends. Lost Scarf here, and it's time for the newest Kirby's Dreamcast. Here we talk about everything Kirby, from the games to the anime to the manga and more. Kirby's Dreamcast. This podcast can be found everywhere podcasts are hosted and on YouTube. The advantage to the YouTube side is that I put footage of what I'm talking about on screen. The YouTube side is especially worth looking at when we do gaming episodes, like the Kirby and the Forgotten Land review. And this episode, however, will just be showing the soundtrack list as I go, so you see the rankings at all times. Today we're going to rank every single song in the sound test of Kirby Superstar, 65 in total. Why? Because Kirby Superstar is when I think the Kirby soundtrack started becoming really special. There's some good tunes in every game prior to Superstar, but Superstar is when you start getting dozens of good songs instead of just a couple. We'll do more sound test rankings as we go forward. There are some amazing soundtracks. I think 70% of Superstar soundtrack is just amazing. If you disagree and think Adventure or some other game should be ranked too, then message me and convince me. You can do that in the YouTube comments or message me at Kirby Dreamcast on Twitter. By the way, obviously since this is a musical episode, you don't really need to watch the YouTube version, so you can just listen. I'll be listening to songs out on YouTube and that's it. I'm not going to put the rankings in the description. If you want to know who got first place, skip to the end. I'll try to fit the full rank list on screen, and if you're listening to the podcast and not on YouTube, well, you're listening for a reason. While I'm talking, the music will be in the background, and I'll give my reasoning behind the rankings. Of course, this is purely my opinion, and you can debate me the merits of any song if you like. Just don't go crazy, this should be fun. I'm not a music major, so my explanation and interpretations of the music will be different from others. Lastly, if you want, put up your top 10 songs in the comments and see where we line up. That should be fun. Alright, so I'm going to split this into 4 groups. The bottom third, the middle third, the top third, not counting the top 10, and then finally the top 10. Bottom first. The majority of these songs are the short little things that aren't really sound effects, they're just background noise. They're more ambience than music. The game overs and victory tunes are in there too. Middle tier, there is nothing against what's in the middle tier. I like a lot of these songs, they are just in the middle of the pack. Top tier is of course the best songs in the game, lots of boss themes, standout level songs, and game themes. And the top 10 is, well, that's straightforward now, isn't it? So let's get going to the bottom tier. The bottom 4 songs are the ambient atmosphere songs. So last place is Dynablades. This is what you hear right before Dynablade steals crops and cuts a hill in half. Followed by the ambient nighttime noises when King Dedede and his army steal all the food. Next is Kirby in space when he's going to make a wish for Nova. The sirens and the blaring sounds work well for space, by the way. And lastly is the song we get for Samurai Kirby. The noise at the start is pretty iconic for fans, and the blowing wind is tense. But these are just ambient noise, which is why they're at the bottom. Next is the little star jingle sound at the start of Milky Way Wishes. Yeah, that's a song, not a sound effect. What the heck? And following that is combining the next two, tracks 29 and 30, because 29 is a drum roll, and 30 is the last pang of the drum. This is before you hear the winning song for Gourmet Race, so yeah, these should be sound effects, not songs, but they are songs, so what are you gonna do? They're in the ranking, and they're better than the ambient stuff, in my opinion. Following that is the chirping sound of Dynablade's chicks, the Dyna Chicks. Arguably this could be last for some, but I like birds, so it's not last place. Next up is the song you get when you lose in the arena, which also gets used if you lose in Gourmet Race, but who loses in Gourmet Race? It's an interesting sound you hear, because you got the flute going, and then you have what I guess is like piano, like that long note going. And yeah, it's a losing song, and I think it works very well, and it's better than the things we just listed earlier. Then we have the short version of the Kirby dance, which is fine, it's good, everyone loves the Kirby dance. And then it starts getting good because next up is the lead up to facing Dynablade. The tune is short but amps you up for what's coming, and I like that a lot. After that is the song from the ability trial room and the arena when you're choosing your weapon of choice. I like this tune for the little bit we have of it. It's just a really nice tune, like hey, get ready, and it's a bit shipped up, and I like that, I enjoy that. Next up is the lead up to Continue music, if you lose all your lives in Milky Way Wishes, which is a cute tune no one hears since it's hard to lose on Milky Way Wishes. Followed by the sound when you lose a life in Kirby, and then followed by the song you hear for Continue in Milky Way Wishes. It's a nice, happy chiming sound going on there when you lose, but no one loses in Milky Way Wishes. Then we have the 2 Victory Star songs. You can hear the Milky Way Wishes Victory Star sounds a lot like the Continue screen song. I rank it under the Sparkling Star Victory song because I like the sparkling, I guess. Just that sparkly sound. I just like it. Also, probably nostalgia too, since that's the sound you hear in the older games too. Next is the Dynablade map song. It's a nice little upbeat tune. The thing I like the most is that little coconut sound. It just sounds like a coconut to me. That's the best way I can describe it. Then we have our first stage song, Marshmallow Castle, which is the stage music for Mallow Castle in Dynablade. I'm sure some people rank this higher. It's just fine. The horns and chimes are nice and there's some variation, but it just ranks the lowest of the stage songs in my opinion. Then we have the Save Hut song from Great Cave Offensive. It's just a pretty tune and it fits the location, and I just like it. Then we have another pretty tune that few hear. It's the Continue screen if you're defeated in anything outside of Milky Way Wishes. I think it's a prettier tune than the Milky Way Wishes one, which is why it's ranked higher. Just pretty. Really pretty. And the last of the bottom tier is Meta Knight's Revenge theme. It feels so sinister and dark. It's good, but it's just a little thing. It's not very long. But it feels so good too, though. That's why it's the top of the bottom. So that's all the bottom tier. If any of your favorites were in there, I'm sorry. Everything had to be ranked somewhere. By the way, we've now covered 22 songs from the sound test. So now for the middle tier, starting with rank 43, the opening theme for Milky Way Wishes. It's very otherworldly feeling and an interesting sounding tune, but not one of my favorites. Then we have the iconic Corkboard. It had to go somewhere. I like it, but it's a very serviceable song that does its job well, and that's it. Still like it, but that's it. Then we have Float Isles, which is a remix of Kirby's Dream Land of the same song, and it's so good. It really makes me move in my seat. I love it a lot. The song is a journey. There's a lot going on there, and yet it's ranked this low. Isn't that something? There's a lot of good songs in this game. Holy crap. So now we have the 40th place with this song, Invisibility Candy Song. I love this song. It's so amped up and perfect for what it does. It's short, it's sweet, it's just great. I love it so much. How does it not amp you up, right? Next is the mid-boss battle song, which is specifically for Iron Mom and Dynablade. It's a good upbeat tempo. It just keeps you going, right? Like that upbeat tempo just goes, it just keeps going. I love it. It's so good. Then comes a song we all know and love, Kirby's Victory Dance. Oh, I love this song. I really do. I love it a lot. Next ranked is Subtree Area. This song just feels like a very iconic song of Superstar, and yet it's ranked so low. There's so much going on in this song. It is a real journey. But it fits for the three locations the song is used, which is the Subtree Area, the Old Tower, and Hot Beat. You start with the big horns, then more fluty horns. There's like two competing groups in the song, the heavier horns and a lighter flute. I see the horns as the stage and the flute as Kirby traversing through. Then eventually transitions something more in the middle, and the music has a more deserty feel. I wish I was a music major so I could word this all better, and the rest of this entire list, but that's how I feel. That's what it sounds like to me, and it's just such a journey, this song, and I like it a lot. Following that is the Cave Stage song for Cocoa Cave and Cavios. This song is also quite the journey, and it's got an upbeat tempo, and I love that long doom sound. It fits caving so well, and I also enjoy that doot-doot-doot-doot. Like, those two sounds I really like a lot. The beat is just also very good. And of course in the background, I'm going to have it playing that, so... What I mean by the doom sounds is this. What I mean by the doot-doot-doot-doot is this. Really, these stage songs are why I love the Kirby soundtrack so much. There's so much going on with them, there's such a journey going on. And next up continues it with Sea Stage, which is used for Meta Knight's Revenge Chapter 2 and Aqualus. It has a nice beach feel to it for sure, and again the song is a journey. I like how it starts with the long whistle, then Coconut transitions to the other instruments. It also feels a lot like Float Islands, like an evolution of that. Clearly that had to be on purpose. There's no way it's not on purpose. Just listen to them back and back and you can just feel that, for sure. So what tops all these stages? Some may be surprised. I really like the Gourmet Race intro theme when Kirby's flying up the mountain, thinking about food. It's very cute and playful and works well to convey the emotion that Kirby's having at the time. It's just really, playfulness is the best way to put it, and also a bit of hopefulness to it as well. Topping that is another intro, the Meta Knight's Revenge cutscene. Those horns are so ominous! Oh my god! As Meta Knight and crew are gearing up to conquer Dreamland, are you kidding me with those tunes? Those horns. Just that horns, just like, oh my god, this looming sound of the halberd. And you have this quieter sound of like that sound going on there. I should just play it in the background. That is the sound of Kirby coming. He's not there yet. It is the quiet before the storm. I love it so much. It's so good. Next up is the beginner's room, where Kirby learns how to play the game. This tune has an interesting long instrument run with an upbeat foundation. There's 3 transitions of basically the same tune, and I like it because it feels like the first group is the simplest, followed by a little more complication in the second run, and most complex and finest sounding in the third section, before looping again. Like, you just gotta listen to that. It sounds nice, and I just enjoy this tune. It's got this nice rise and fall to it, and I love it. I really do, and I just love all these songs as you're hearing, since I'm saying so much now. Following that is the title and ending theme to Dynablade. It's just very cute and upbeat. As an intro, it tells you you're going to have a cute and colorful time. For the ending theme, for sure, the whistles are the Dyna Chicks flourishing and having an optimistic ending. It's just a very sweet song, and I love it a lot. Now here we are for rank 30, and that is Computer Virus Battle. It's basically an old computer version of the boss battle theme, but I really like it for some reason. It's just the perfect theme for the fight, and I just enjoy the novelty of it. It's just fun, I like it. Following that is Cornhole, which is the song during the Cornhole race in Gourmet Race. This song is another journey as Kirby and King Dedede race. You can hear 2 competing groups transition back and forth, with the lighter tunes being Kirby and the heavy tunes being King Dedede. It is a great beat to run to, and the song goes for very long, and it goes very well. And really, yeah, you just feel this competition in the song, and there's a great transition at the end before it goes back to the start. I love how this song loops. It's very good. Then comes the Milky Way Wishes map song. This tune just feels right here. It gives you an upbeat for Kirby, but it also feels perilous since Kirby's going all the way out into space to face many trials to help Dreamland. It just fits very well with what's gonna happen, and it's just great. It's very good. Then comes another map, kinda. The song is titled Above the Halberd. This is whenever Kirby travels from one place to another in Meta Knight's Revenge. There's a regalness to the horns here. He is a knight, and it is knightly. It also feels very serious for the situation, which is perfect. It just builds up more and more over time, and that slamming hammer sound, it's so good. I love it a lot. I love a lot of these a lot, obviously. Next is Kirby Wins, the victory song in Gourmet Race. The big victory flourish followed by victory horns that feel reminiscent of a parade at a racetrack. It just gets faster and faster, and I love it. I really enjoy that song a lot. Then comes the Kirby Superstar theme song, the grand opening. It's perfect! It charges right at you from the start with a high tone and really makes you feel Kirby flying through the sky. ending with an abrupt jam for Kirby's landing. I love it so much. It's so good. Short, perfect, great. So what beats that? Heart of Nova! Flying around, shooting lots of ships, and then taking on the turrets inside Nova. The instruments give a great sense of spacey dread as you're whizzing through at high speeds trying to survive. It's so good. You get those hard, hammery sounds just coming in, giving that metal sound. Then you get that little more techno-y sound going on as well. And the space with the harps and everything. There's so much good going on in this song. It's just awesome. It really is. And now we go to something that's completely opposite and not serious in any way, Bubbly Clouds. Bubbly Clouds is pretty iconic for its light, fluffy tone. So many Kirby songs paint their levels perfectly, and Bubbly Clouds really exemplifies that. This one is it's just iconic is the best way to put it. Like, you know what Bubbly Clouds is. You know what that song is. And it's so good. You just have this, this sweetness with the sounds going on there. I don't know how best to describe it, because I don't have a music major? Why did I say magic? It's just this tone going up, there's a keyboard tone that just keeps the tempo just going up higher and higher and higher. And you got the flutes just keeping it swaying further. And then there's this downward transition going down and it just climbs back up. And it's just such a nice, light, fluffy song. I love it a lot. And with that song, we're at rank 23 and we have cleared the middle rankings. So what's song number 22? The song you get when you defeat Marks and launch him into Nova, Kirby's triumphant return. It's a great little tune after defeating the final boss. The horns swell up as Kirby dispatches Marks and Nova, and then ends abruptly as he probably goes home to sleep. That's kind of funny when you think about it. He gets betrayed, beats up the betrayer, destroys a machine that can grant any wish, and then immediately goes home to sleep, just finishing his day of work. That's it. Love that. Then we have the boss battle music. It's a good tune for a song you're going to hear a lot. It's not too strong a song, but not too weak either. There's a good background tempo as you have the horns hyping you up in the front as well. And it's just very enjoyable. Then comes the 20th ranked song, Peanut Plain / Floria. It's a very chipper song that I enjoy, and I like the variety of instruments being used here. Flutes, some kind of coconut sound, and more. The song just feels like a walk on a sunny day. Then it switches into a fluty tune that makes it even better. I just enjoy this song a lot. It's so good. I'm gonna say that every time, of course. They're all so good. I just love this one a lot. Gotta stop now. Then comes Crystal Area, which is used in the Crystal Area of the Great Cave Offensive. It's a great remix of Green Greens that I enjoy a lot. One of these days I need to figure out what is the most remixed Kirby song, because a lot of the classics have multiple remixes, and this is a really good remix. I just like how it's just this more horned up version of Green Greens, and it just works so well. I love it. Next up is the Arena Showdown, or as some like to call it, the Gladiator Kirby. This does have a great feel to it. I don't know what it is about how the instruments are used, but it gives off a desert tone. Probably because lots of games use this tone and beat for desert levels. Metal Slug does the same thing, by the way. This song definitely makes me think of fighting an arena in the sand, so mission accomplished, music team. Well done. Speaking of fighting in an arena, Megaton Punch. This song really amps you up for brick breaking. This feels more like a metal tune with a guitar building up speed with drums backing it up. It's perfect for what it does, like, just that build up, that's just so good, and then it just keeps going, and it's great. I love breaking bricks to this song, it's so good. Then we have the classic King Dedede song. Yes, it's not in the top 10. Sorry, it's not there. It's another great remix of King Dedede song, and I like it a lot. Love the prominence of the horns and the switch over to the flute as the tune goes. It's a great boss song that will evolve so many times in the future. Oh my god. It's really good. Just not top 10. So what beats King Dedede's theme? The minecart area. I love this little theme that plays as you drive through the minecarts. It's short and sweet. The playful flute is definitely Kirby driving through the tracks. There's something very fun about it, like the beat with the horns, it just feels like it's the wheels of the cart moving, and that flute with Kirby, that's definitely Kirby just playing around on the tracks. I love it a lot. It's just so good. And what tops that is the classic Green Greens. This song is probably top 10 at some point, but I thought maybe I was being too nostalgic. Still, it's a great upbeat tune with the keyboard and flute play. It's always a joy to hear Green Greens. It's probably one of my favorite themes forever, and yet it's not top 10. I think this is one where like, maybe people wouldn't be like it if I put it up there because it's Green Greens, and it fell out, and well, yeah, maybe I'll regret that later. But above that is Havoc Aboard the Halberd. Yes, this is definitely a song that is on a lot of people's top 10 lists, but Havoc Aboard the Halberd is really good. It's just a continuation of what I think is the better first half. Still, the song is, well, awesome. It is quite the journey with the varying instruments and increase in tempo as it goes forward before looping. The more I hear it, the more I love it. So that says a lot for what's in the actual top 10. So what beats that? The build-up song that is the arena. Immediately you know the arena is going to be a big deal because of this heavy song. It comes right at you with the build-up with the drums, then the flutes and horns come in to maintain the tension. This is the song you hear before the gates open. It is so good. So very good. So now we're at number 11. What didn't make the top 10? Unfortunately it is Candy Mountain. It's a really fun upbeat tune that feels like Kirby and friends are frolicking up the mountain. I really enjoy how they switch between two instrument sets as the tune goes on. It feels like it's Kirby and his helper climbing together. That's the best way I can put it. Like, you've got Kirby with this group here, and then goes to the helper's group in this music, and it's so good. I love it a lot. It just didn't make the cut. It was so close. But now here we are at the top 10. Just think what songs are left. Where do you think they may land? Get your list ready and see where it lines up with mine. And here we go. Number 10. It starts with a blaring siren and intense drums as Meta Knight desperately tries to kill Kirby. The Halberd Escape song. It's short, but it's intense. It really amps up the tension as you're dodging and driving desperately, trying not to go down with the ship. It's just so good. Meta Knight wants you dead. You can feel that with this song. There's desperation in the air, Kirby's gotta get out of there, and he's gonna succeed, thankfully. Such a good song. Number 9, this was probably a surprise, it's the second half of the Gourmet Race intro. It starts with a drum roll and hits you with this sharp horn you don't hear anywhere else. The instruments are just fun in this tune, getting you ready for a race. It sets the Gourmet Race so well. I really like the flute in the end. I like that there's just this turningness or spinningness to it. It just gets you going for the race. I like it a lot. Number 8 is the first end credits song, A New Wind for Tomorrow. It works so well as the end credits. Kirby just triumphed over King Dedede, and this song sounds like such a celebration of Kirby's accomplishment as he flies home. The gradual rise and ambling fall of the tune is just so good. The flute is totally Kirby, and I love that, like, that coconut sound I keep talking about. I really enjoy this one. It's so upbeat. It's just great. A wonderful end credits song. Love it a lot. Then you've got number 7, Meta Knight's theme. This low, drawn-out tone, but also high tempo in the background. Then you have the chunky drums and the keyboard play. This is a dark duel to the death with Meta Knight, and he seriously wants to defeat Kirby. It's just so good. It just feels right. It feels like this kind of like metal-y, techno-y song going on here, and it's just the right song for Meta Knight because they are fighting on the halberd, and it works so well. Number 6, topping one boss fight with another theme, Marks. Right from the start with the strings and horns, something feels otherworldly with this song. It's a great fight with a Jester Bat demon in space. Then you have the flute playing followed by strings and rising horns. The strings and the drums cutting in, giving you the sense of Marks' oppressive attacks, with the horns and flute pushing back to form Kirby's counterattack. It's a great, dark piece. And I just love this counterplay going on with the music. You can just tell, this is Marks, this is Kirby, and they're fighting it out, and it's just so good. So dang good. Number 5, The Great Cave Offensive. It's a really good intro and credit song for the Great Cave Offensive. I like how the strings cut up and cut down through the piece as the horns and drums maintain the tempo. The strings here are definitely Kirby adventuring through the Great Cave. It's not as fancy and complex as some of the other songs in the top 10, but it works so well for what it does, hyping you up for the journey you're about to embark on, and then just sending you off as you've won and defeated the cave. I really enjoy this a lot, and I'm happy with it, and that's why it's number 5. Number 4, it starts with a twinkle as Kirby drifts off to sleep, then builds up quick and gets the credit music going. The music rises with I don't know what instrument in the background keeping up the tempo, while we're treated with different instruments rising and falling to give us a sense of lift as the credits and camera rises into the sky. Then you have the flutes going and followed by the Green Green's leitmotif to signal Kirby's presence. It's a great piece and perfect as the last song of Milky Way Wishes. I love it a lot, it lasts a long time, it transitions very well, and I love the string play in it, and I love how they draw it out, and it's just a wonderful tune, and it is perfect as a credits song. And that's why it's so high up on this list. It's really good. Just really good. So now there's only 3 songs left. You probably know what they are. The question is, what is the order? And number 3 is... Yup, it's My Friend in the Sunset. Kirby successfully defeats Meta Knight and survives the halberds crashing. All that's left to do now is to ride off into the sunset and have a nap. This song paints that so well. With the horn play and the keyboard play, it's so good. It perfectly conveys the sense that the day is over and it's time to go home. Let's think about this for a second. Meta Knight launched at dawn. By the time the sun sets that day, Kirby systematically disabled Meta Knight's ship and undid untold hours of hard labor done by Meta and his knights. Sometimes you feel bad for Meta Knight, but this is just what he gets for thinking Dreamland needed him as its protector instead of Kirby. That's what happened there. And this is just so good. This song of just Into the Sunset. A job well done. Just time to go home. I've said this 3 times. It's good. It's so good. I love it a lot. It's top 3 for a reason. I'm sure it's number 1 for a lot of people. But really quick, before we get to number 2, do you think Meta Knight has made peace with the fact Kirby's pop star's greatest hero by now? Whether he has or not, he's shown that he's accepted Kirby as the answer to everything. In Forgotten Land, he goes on the offensive until Waddle D-Town gets attacked, so he falls back. Then once Kirby shows up, he sets up as defense while Kirby conquers the Forgotten Land. That's what Kirby has done. He's established his dominance after all these years. So there's only 2 songs left, and I went back and forth on these 2 because I enjoy them so much, but as of right now, it lands like this, and some of the other songs also lands like this. Some of these I can move around a bunch. Number 2, Gourmet Race. It keeps that background tune from the Gourmet Race intro to maintain the tempo while you get this fun flute and hornplay going on. The lighter tones are of course representing Kirby, while the bigger tones are of course King Dedede. Then the song kicks into quick flute play and hornplay to signify the race between the 2 of them. The hornplay at the end of the loop is so good, it feels like Kirby and King Dedede are in a mix-up push for the finish line, and I love that a lot. Gourmet Race is one of my favorite songs of all time. I love all the remixes, I like it a lot. I don't know if it is the number 1 if you put all the remixes together. Like, I want to rank all that at some point. What is the greatest song including its remixes, who wins if you just weighed them all together? And Gorm Race is definitely a favorite, but it's going to be hard going up against certain songs like the number one and King Dedede's theme and a few others. So there's only one song left. Number one, the better half, the starting half, boarding the halberd. The tune quickly rises up and opens bombastically as Kirby crashes into the ship. The high tempo of the beat is the ship's crew quickly scrambling to battle stations as chaos spreads across the ship with Kirby's arrival. The flute play is of course Kirby curiously running around the halberd as Meta and his knights prepare. I wish I knew what this instrument was making this sound right here. To me, it is the sirens giving the call that Kirby's on the ship. There's no way Meta Knight didn't prepare a code pink for Kirby's eventual attack. It's so good, it deserves, of course, the Grammy that it got. Of course, in combination with the second half, of course. But it's so good. It's a very good song. Begrudgingly, I have it beating Gourmet Race. You gotta respect that it won a Grammy. You gotta respect that it's just so good. It has so much love to it. But really, another day I'd probably put Gourmet Race in front of it. They're just both two really good songs. But I do love how this song is just so much panic and chaos on the halberd because of Kirby. I love that so much. You really feel it in this song. So there you have it. My full ranking of the entire Kirby Superstar OST with why I ranked it the way I did. I'm sure others interpreted the songs differently than I did, and I'd love to hear it. Music is something that can be very subjective, and it's interesting how different people can interpret the same piece of music. Wouldn't it be awesome if you could ask Jun Ishikawa or Dan Miyokawa their reasoning behind the songs? That would be just awesome. I wish I could. So that's it for this episode of Kirby's Dreamcast. Next will be the light novel episode or the Kirby's Return to Dreamland review. I had fun. I hope you had fun too, and thanks for coming by, and see you next time. Thanks for sitting here and listening. This was a fun ride. I really enjoyed this episode. Bye!